Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here. And today we got to talk about CrowdStrike. I'm finally back from traveling and finally can talk about this outside of just posting random memes and my thoughts online. And so let's dive in because quite frankly, CrowdStrike owns a lot of this, but they don't own all of it. Now, here's what's going on, and let's go through the TikToks real quick if you didn't necessarily know what actually happened. So overnight on Thursday and into Friday here in the United States, because this was a global outage, several states, including Alaska and Arizona, had 911 service outages. Some hospitals also began experiencing issues as well. Between 2 and 3 a.m. Eastern time, the FAA, or Federal Aviation Administration, basically grounded American Airlines and Delta Airlines, and then they grounded United and Allegiant Airlines, which I believe is part of United. Anyway, they grounded all of them. Spirit Airlines had reservation systems that were affected as well, and I don't know about the others, but apparently Southwest was fine. So a few hours later, between 5 and 6 a.m., also Eastern Time, all times Eastern, the public transit system across the Northeast in the United States said that they were impacted. Washington, D.C. public transportation services, including trains, started basically having delays and all that kind of stuff. Now in New York City, the biggest city in the United States, the MTA, that's the largest transportation network, said that their information systems had gone temporarily offline, but trains and buses were running. By 5:30 a.m., CrowdStrike started telling customers that it was aware of reports of crashes on its software, specifically on Microsoft Windows operating systems. Between 6 and 7 a.m., White House National Security Council spokesperson said they're aware of the incident and looking into issues and impacts. White House source also said there were no indications of malicious activity, which we now know is true. And again, from there, we started hearing about banks. And so global banks started reporting service issues all over the world. Australia's Commonwealth Bank, South Africa's Capitec, the Bank of Israel, Australian lenders ANZ and Westpac were hit. New Zealand's ASP Bank was also discovered to be hit, ASB, excuse me, and on and on and on. And here we are. Now we know CrowdStrike basically sent out a software update that glitched Windows 10 and basically blue screened the entire planet. Now, this is a huge thing, but there's a couple of different things. One, this is a shared responsibility. Part of basically being in cybersecurity is supply chain due diligence. And as much vetting as you do, mistakes can happen, which is why we also have incident response. Now, I can take a look at clients just anecdotally that I consult with, and one that had 16,000 endpoints basically and 45 IT employees on staff. They are slammed and still working on it. I had another client with around 100,000 endpoints, and they got up within something like an hour and a half or something like that with their critical infrastructure, and then basically began to do the endpoints as well. And so they survived that event rather well because they plan for it. They have contingency planning. They train on this. They plan an incident response. Similar to a ransomware and easier to fix is essentially the name of the game. And for the record, I saw a lot of posts and a lot of memes from various cybersecurity professionals saying, well, I'm on X platform, not CrowdStrike, and so, blah, blah, blah. I posted a meme myself, Mark's safe from CrowdStrike today because, here we are, right? And also I was on vacation and I was really glad for that as well and whatnot. But the point is that this can happen to any vendor. We make mistakes. CrowdStrike is going to make mistakes. Microsoft is going to make mistakes. Lord knows I've made mistakes and whatnot. And in software development, as much as you vet, these things can happen. Now, maybe they rushed this patch out. Maybe this patch did not get all the vetting and software development lifecycle testing that it needed to have. We don't know yet. For the record, that's pure speculation. But the point is you may be looking at this and laughing, saying, I'm not on CrowdStrike, thank God. But whatever you're on could have this issue as well. Not to mention, Microsoft has released updates for Windows itself that have blown up the world, right? Blue screened a whole bunch of everything. And so understand that while CrowdStrike's on the hot seat right now, this is, I think, a huge thing. And the final thing I'm going to say, too, is we have to have some compassion for CrowdStrike as well. Their employees are in this fight with us to secure the planet. They've had a bad day. There's a lot of fear and uncertainty that goes basically with this kind of mess, especially if you're the one company-wise on the hot seat. And so people may be worried about their jobs. They may be working as fast as they can to improve these situations as well. And again, these are our colleagues and our friends. I know people at CrowdStrike, and I feel bad for them because it's not a fun time. So have a little compassion during this entire event. And as we start to restore stuff, and a lot of stuff did come back this weekend, I was delayed at hours at O'Hare Airport in Chicago, waiting for a flight because, well, American Airlines went down, and guess who I was flying? So have some compassion, have some understanding, and as we basically take a breather, CrowdStrike's going to be doing an internal analysis of this. Their CEO has already been called to the carpet for Homeland Security and probably Congress because, again, we are talking about billions of dollars worth of outage. So, again, have some compassion. I hope you survived it, and if you're a colleague of mine still going through it, best of luck. We'll keep posting the memes. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well, none of which went down, so I guess none of them are on CrowdStrike. And as always, stay safe, or at least not on the Windows version of it. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everybody.